Let's see. Hold on, let me turn this shit up. Playing some 2K. Zion. It's crazy. Zion. Oh shit. Trying to see if I should. That shit look fine, man. Damn. Fucked up. That's crazy, bro. I was about to say that's definitely not going in. Oh, stolen. There we go. Step back and shit. Hey. Look good for a second though. About to say, who the hell is that? Post moves and shit. Oh, this how you do it. I fucking missed. Double teaming Zion. What's up? What's up? Yeah, fool. Oh. I tried. That's good. About to say, you ain't making that shit. Can I make it? That's the question. Nope, still can't make it. I gotta wait till I'm on fire, I guess. Can't run to the left and make a shot. Damn. That shit coming in hot. Ah, alright. Let's try that. Let's see how that goes. Ah, that's still too hot. Let me see. Now they want to pass me the ball. Alright. Let's try that right there then. Damn. There we go. Alright. I was about to say they gotta let me make that one. One of my patented buzzer beaters where I'm not even ready. There we go. Get to the spots and shit now. Oh, let me get that. It's crazy.
Let's keep it up.
That's the one. Barely got it off in time. All right, let's see what we got. They put me on the bench. Like, nigga, this where you going for the rest of the game type shit. Love it. Technical difficulties at the beginning, but fuck it. Damn. Too clean. I'm about to say he almost made that shit too. Mama Bear, what up? Oh shit. I'm about to say that's good. Oh, got him. That was crazy. Yeah. Man, that's too quick. What up, though? What up? Another one. Wonder if they're gonna take my takeover because it's timeout. Nope. Must have been a mandatory timeout or some shit. I was about to say, he definitely ain't making that shit. Alright, hold on. Oh. Damn. Damn, he keep getting plucked. Oh my. We both didn't get no good shot. That's great. That's crazy. All right. There you go. Didn't know that. I guess you learn something new every day. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate it. Oh shit, we back. About to say, about to get one of them weird ass layups. Oh, that's too easy. Play some Battlefield too. Shoot some people. Oh. What is it, Friday night? I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. It's Friday night. Oh, that was crazy. I don't even know what that was, but I like it. I gotta do it again. I only got 6 seconds. Fuck. Oh, got another dunk. Why they got this dude guarding me anyway? Oh, that's too clean. DJ. Dang. I'm about to say he ain't finna do shit with it anyway. Oh. See? Oh, come on, man. Same thing I did last time. About to say we ain't even worried about dude. He can't shoot. Oh. The jab step, baby. Why did he stop and shoot that? That's crazy. Damn. Alright, Zion. Didn't he get rid of that haircut, 2K? Come on, man.
Switch.
Damn. I'm about to say whatever that was. Oh, I'm gonna get it all the way. Switched it up on the other side of the rim. Oh. That's when you know you've been playing 2K for a long time. I was about to say, can he even shoot? I don't even know who he is. Ooh. That's crazy. Oh. Fuck, wrong bounce pass. Chris Paul. Missed. Yeah, I was about to say, he can't shoot. That's crazy. Finish it just like that. He patting himself on the back. That's crazy. Hey. Like, which one hits harder? That's all that matters, huh? That was a slow double, but whatever. I don't even know who that dude is. Alright. I forgot I could just do that. No need to dribble or nothing. I was about to say something, but whatever. Damn, bro. Oh, give it back. I was about to say, I fucked it all up, but it worked out. Damn. Hey. If I can make that, it's over. That's crazy. I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, I should have made a better play then. That's crazy though. Holy shit. Ah, he got it. A nice move though. Nice screens and everything. We got the rebound though. What wasn't one of my finest moments, but whatever. Man, take me out, coach. They about to hurt somebody. All right, see what we got.
Hey everybody, so personally, I'll admit, I'm not the world's biggest Quentin Tarantino fan. I just, I liked Kill Bill Volume 2, alright?
Plan A taught you the 5-point palm exploding heart technique. Of course he did.
We did see his 2019 film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which, if you haven't seen, is described on its official website as a tribute to the final moments of Hollywood's golden age. But spoiler alert, it's set in 1969 over the backdrop of the time when the Manson family murdered actress Sharon Tate and her friends. Although in true Hollywood fairy tale fashion, what happens in the movie doesn't play out the way that these events did in actual physical reality. The ending gets changed to one where they're not able to carry out the murders.
You can do anything you want to him.
And my first thought upon finishing this movie was, what happens if someday, somehow, in a world without access to unaltered information and archives, for whatever reason, this version of events were to get taken as what really happened? Like 100 years from now or something, if people saw this movie and they believed that's actually historically accurate, and there wasn't another source of information to counter it, what kind of butterfly effect are we talking about with such a thing like that? I mean, anybody who's read a Shakespeare play understands how drama and theater can be used to alter public perception of real life people and events, how we understand our society. But some of the technologies that are coming out right now, you toss that in there and it's beyond a post-truth world. I don't even know what to call it. Which brings me to the point of this video. We've spoken at length in our videos over the years on this channel about our concerns with tech being used to edit reality in real time, and how that could go horribly dystopically wrong. And it feels like we have to be that balancing voice, because the people who are making these things a lot of times keep acting like having radical optimism about everything isn't just some cute costume for being mind-blowingly naive.
This is fine.
And we don't watch the Super Bowl, but I saw this had happened and I recognized right away the insidiousness of it. So I'd like to go ahead and put this out on the record as well, for whatever this is that we've been keeping on this channel for over a decade now. I think this needs to go there. So singer Alicia Keys joined Usher for the halftime performance this year. And on the NFL's official version of the video on YouTube, they edited out a so-called mistake she made when she kind of missed one of the notes, one of the opening notes of her song. And if you go to the NFL's official channel at around 4 minutes in, it will show you this. I'm about to show you a clip of this, just a quick one, and I hope this video doesn't get removed. I'm going to try to get away with just playing a few relevant seconds just so you can see exactly what I mean. So that is what they have now on the official NFL YouTube channel. But here is what millions of people watching the Super Bowl halftime show live actually saw and heard.
Oh, shit.
Now, I want to point out there's no mention anywhere on the description of this video on the NFL's official channel that any technology has been used to change anything that you're seeing.
That's crazy.
And I hope Jaquiz joined Usher for the halftime performance being used to edit reality in real time, and how this movie, and they believed that's actually historically accurate. And there wasn't another source of information to counter it. What kind of butterfly effect are we talking about with such a thing like that? I mean, anybody who's read a Shakespeare play understands how drama and theater can be used to alter public perception of real life people and events, how we understand our society. But some of the technologies that are coming out right now, you toss that in there and it's beyond a post-truth world. I don't even know what to call it. Which brings me to the point of this video. We've spoken at length in our videos over the years on this channel about our concerns with tech being used to edit reality in real time, and how that could go horribly dystopically wrong. And it feels like we have to be that balancing voice, because the people who are making these things a lot of times keep acting like having radical optimism about everything isn't just some cute costume for being mind-blowingly naive.
This is fine.
And we don't watch the Super Bowl.
This is fine.
But I saw this had happened and I recognized right away the insidiousness of it. So I'd like to go ahead and put this out on the record as well, for whatever this is that we've been keeping on this channel for over a decade now. I think this needs to go there. So singer Alicia Keys joined Usher for the halftime performance this year. And on the NFL's official version of the video on YouTube, they edited out a so-called mistake she made when she kind of missed one of the notes, one of the opening notes of her song. And if you go to the NFL's official channel at around 4 minutes in, it will show you this. I'm about to show you a clip of this, just a quick one, and I hope this video doesn't get removed. I'm going to try to get away with just playing a few relevant seconds just so you can see exactly what I mean. So that is what they have now on the official NFL YouTube channel. But here is what millions of people watching the Super Bowl halftime show live actually saw and heard. Now,
What was that?
I want to point out there's no mention anywhere on the description of this video on the NFL's official channel that any technology has been used to change anything that you're seeing from what it was when it happened. They're just passing this off as if this was her performance, and it did go down like that. And it's creepy too that there's almost no comments about that at all in the comments section, which I find really hard to believe. And actually, there's really almost no comments about Alicia's performance at all. There's only like I think I counted, I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled through thousands of comments. I got like 3 or 4. So I don't know what's going on there. It's as if the comments themselves have been moderated, and anything related to her mistake or even her really seems like a lot of it's been culled out from this comment section. I mean, at least I guess they left the comments on. A lot of times these big corporations these days, they don't do that. But it's weird how much she is not mentioned. She comes in 4 minutes into this 13+ minute performance and is barely mentioned at all in these 37,000 comments. That's a little strange mathematically, don't you think? So now what you have is historical records, because that's really what it is, of performances, official videos of performances being put up as if her mistake never happened. They're editing reality in near real time.
Right?
And some of you hearing this might
crazy.
say, well, who cares? Like, it's just a Super Bowl performance. But of course,
What's
my regular
next?
viewers on my channel already know what I'm about to say. If they can edit something like this and pass it off as reality to you without telling you what happens when they edit something that is more consequential than just a Super Bowl performance.
Right?
And if they have done this and they just did it, they didn't tell people they were doing it, they didn't make an announcement, they're not telling people on the page, they're not letting And they people just- know, they just did it. They just did it. And if they could do that, how many times have things like this been done that you don't know about? That as if, and Scrolled through thousands of comments. I got like 3. Kind of missed one of the notes, one of the opening notes.
This is fine.
And we don't watch
This
the
is
Super
fine.
Bowl, but I saw this had happened and I recognized right away the insidiousness of it out right now. You toss that in there and it's beyond a post-truth world. I don't even know what to call it. Which brings me to the point of this video. We've spoken at length in our videos over the years on this channel about our concerns with tech being used to edit reality in real time and how that could go horribly dystopically wrong. And it feels like we have to be that balancing voice because the people who are making these things a lot of times keep acting like having radical optimism about everything isn't just some cute costume for being mind-blowingly naive.
This is fine.
And we
This
don't
is
watch the
fine.
Super Bowl, but I saw this had happened and I recognized right away the insidiousness of it. So I'd like to go ahead and put this out on the record as well for whatever this is that we've been keeping on this channel for over a decade now. I think this needs to go there. So singer Alicia Keys joined Usher for the halftime performance this year. And on the NFL's official version of the video on YouTube, they edited out a so-called mistake she made when she kind of missed one of the notes, one of the opening notes of her song. And if you go to the NFL's official channel at around 4 minutes in, it will show you this. I'm about to show you a clip of this, just a quick one, and I hope this video doesn't get removed. I'm going to try to get away with just playing a few relevant seconds just so you can see exactly what I mean. So that is what they have now on the official NFL YouTube channel. But here
good.
is what millions of people watching the Super Bowl halftime show live actually saw and heard. Now, I want to point out there's no mention anywhere on the description of this video on the NFL's official channel that any technology has been used to change anything that you're seeing from what it was when it happened. They're just passing this off as if this was her performance and it did go down like that. And it's creepy too that there's almost no there's no comments about that at all in the comments section, which I find really hard to believe. And actually, there's really almost no comments about Alicia's performance at all. There's only like I think I counted, I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled through thousands of comments. I got like 3 or 4. So I don't know what's going on there. It's as if the comments themselves have been moderated and anything related to her mistake or even her really seems like a lot of it's been culled out from this comment section. I mean, at least I guess they left the comments on. A lot of times, these
Right, they
big
just turn 'em
corporations
off.
these days, they don't do that. But it's weird how much she is not mentioned. She comes in 4 minutes into this 13+ minute performance and is barely mentioned at all in these 37,000 comments. That's a little strange mathematically, don't you think? So now what you have is historical records, because that's really what it is, of performances, official videos of performances being put up as if
Crazy.
her
Doctor.
mistake never happened. They're editing reality in near real time. And some of you hearing this might say, well, who cares? Like, it's just a Super Bowl performance. But of course, my regular viewers on my channel already know what I'm about to say. If they can edit something like this and pass it off as reality to you without telling you what happens when they edit something that is more consequential than just a Super Bowl performance. And if
Right.
they have done this and they just did it, they didn't tell people they were doing it, they didn't make an announcement, they're not telling people on the page, they're not letting people know, they just did it. They just did it. And if they could do that, how many times have things like this been done that you don't know about, that we don't know about? How many things have been edited in this way and we don't know? It's like gaslighting. It's so gaslighty. And this
You
happened at
never
the same
know.
time, by the way, that OpenAI released Sora within a very small window of time. Lots of stuff has happened. So OpenAI released Sora, which is a text-to-video generator that looks incredibly realistic. And as soon as I
Definitely.
saw what this video generator was putting out, this AI, my immediate question upon seeing samples of what it could do was to ask, how long do you think this technology's actually existed? Because I wouldn't even be remotely surprised if it was a lot longer than we've been told.
I know,
There is no
right?
reason to trust that it isn't. And after Alicia Keys' performance was AI perfected, people started talking about the Mandela effect again. And that's valid because
Mandela
right here
effect,
is how a
definitely.
Mandela effect gets created. You're seeing the
Exactly.
creation of a Mandela effect in real time. That's what this is. What is this? This right here is how that's done. This is something that I guess we are all just mass hallucinating. 10 years from now, people who saw this performance live or on
Live, yeah.
TV or
They're gonna
whatever,
be like, I remember she
who
messed
were
up.
there in the stadium, are going to remember what happened. They're going to remember that in the real world, Alicia Keys missed a note. But the official record does not depict that reality anymore, unless you filmed it on your own phone or something and you kept that footage. And there were people saying that they were taking down people's clips of this all over YouTube. So people were trying to upload and there's still a few up there, but I suspect there were probably way more when it first happened, because people were complaining about it having been taken down, the original version of her performance, with the mistake in it. And the official record now does not depict the actual reality that occurred. It's like being gaslit almost instantly. It's just, again,
Almost instantly.
imagine someone bringing this up, okay? Years from now, you bring this one up, and nobody remembers it the way that it actually was, but you do. You're the only one who remembers it, right? That she messed up, and it's just a little mistake. She's a human being. She should be allowed to be a human being, you know? But no one else remembers it that way. You're the only one who does, and you try to tell people this is what happened, and no one believes you. And the official record does not agree with what you're saying,
Right.
because it shows her hitting the note perfectly.
Perfectly.
I mean, wouldn't you feel like you were going insane? Isn't that the definition of gaslighting, basically? Which leads to the ultimate question, though, of how long has this kind of reality editing been going on? Which, I mean, people will probably say forever, and they wouldn't be wrong in making that guess.
Right.
History is written by the victors, don't they always say? But this is some other whole thing right here.
I recently walked through Michael Costello, but that's not me who he posted on his story. Michael's a big designer with 1.7 million followers. I understand as a model I am replaceable, but I don't get paid to do these shows. While I don't get paid, there's tacit understanding that I'm doing this for exposure and for photographs. By not using my face, he's taking advantage of models without the same influence as he does. Editing my face and removing my race is completely disrespectful.
They didn't have this technology like they can do with this in this way, at least not that we know about.
Right.
We really can't even act like we actually know what the gap is between what technology is being developed and used, and
Nobody
when that
knows the
technology
gap
is
no
made
more.
widely known to the public at large. We don't even know that. We don't know what that gap is. Lots of people have lots of guesses, but nobody really knows. There's definitely a track record of keeping technological advances from the public on purpose for reasons like war, for example. They had all kinds of technologies during World War II and the Vietnam War. They were not telling people about that. Which war, I mean, we in America have been at war for almost the entire existence of
whole
this
time.
country. According to War History Online, I went and looked it up just to double check. And according to War History Online, since the birth of the USA on July 4th, 1776, this country hasn't even had 2 decades of peace. Not even 2, okay? And that's total in number of years, not continuously. So that's not even continuous
This
20
country
years of
hasn't even
peace.
had
There's
2
boost,
decades of peace.
and
That's
when that
crazy.
technology is made widely known to the public at large, we don't even
But
know
we
that.
be
We
giving
don't know what that gap
democracy out.
is. Lots of people have lots of guesses, but nobody really knows. There's definitely a track record of keeping technological advances from the public on purpose for reasons like war, for example.
Race is completely disrespectful.
They didn't have this technology like they can do with this in this way, at least not that we know about. We really can't even act like we actually know what the gap is between what technology.
Not anymore.
I recently walked through Michael Costello, but that's not me who he posted on his story. Michael's a big designer with 1.7 million followers. I understand as a model I am replaceable, but I don't get paid to do these shows. While I don't get paid, there's tacit understanding that I'm doing this for exposure and for photographs. By not using my face, he's taking advantage of models without the same influence as he does. Editing my face and removing my race is completely disrespectful.
They didn't have this technology like they can do with this in this way, at least not that we know about. We really can't even act like we actually know what the gap is between what technology is being developed
Nah.
and used, and when that technology is made widely known to the public at large. We don't even know that. We don't know what that gap is. Lots of people have lots of guesses, but nobody really knows. There's definitely a track record of keeping technological advances from the public on purpose for reasons like war, for example. They had all kinds of technologies during World War II and the Vietnam War. They were not telling people about that. Which war, I mean, we in America have been at war for almost the entire existence
The
of this
whole
country.
time.
According to War History Online, I went and looked it up just to double check. And according to War History Online, since the birth of the USA on July 4th, 1776, this country hasn't even had 2 decades of peace. Not even 2, okay? And that's total in number of years, not continuously. So that's not even continuous 20 years of peace. There's never been, ever.
But the truth is that involvement in this conflict is far-ranging indeed. It touches not only members of the armed forces and their families, but everyone who supports the mission of the armed forces. Every defense worker, every taxpayer who foots the bill. Who, in fact, is not involved.
It's abysmal. That's an abysmal record. That's really
Right.
sad. So we're already living through a time where trust, which is a concept that's a basic requirement on the recipe list of any functioning society, okay, is crumbling at what seems like a compounding rate at all levels. I mean, by the time you have WEF mentioning trust at all, it's obviously they know it's an issue. This year, Soros' kid, who just got him taken over the Open Society Foundation last year, actually said this. He sat on stage and said this.
Democracy is messy. I mean, democracy is about contestation of ideas. It's about plurality. It's about people having different truths, actually. Now, fundamentally, how society lives together civically in those contestations is obviously quite tricky. But I think that if we play
like a
too much on
communist.
this information card, we're taking
come on.
responsibility away from ourselves to actually create a narrative that inspires people to vote and to believe, in democracy and democratic
Stuttering like a motherfucker.
institutions.
So he's saying that it's their responsibility, I guess him and the other people who go to WEF, the WEF elite, as they refer to themselves. They refer to themselves as the elite. That's
The good news is the elite across the world trust each other more and more. The bad news is that in every single
else trusts
country
y'all.
they were polling, the majority of people trusted that elite less. So we can lead, but if people aren't following, we're not going to get to where we want to go.
I don't know. There's something really silly about that, actually, but claim it's their responsibility to come up with narratives that people will believe in.
We're taking responsibility away from ourselves to actually create a narrative that inspires people to vote and to believe, in.
That's a far cry from this is the truth of the way things are, this is reality. We, the WEF elite, are going to come up with the narratives that inspire you to believe in them. He said that. It's amazing how much the quiet part is getting said out loud these days, actually. If you're paying even a little bit of attention, it's kind of insane. But the problem is they know a growing number of people don't trust them and are not inspired to believe any of the bullshit coming out of their mouths. Trust at all levels, it feels like, has been systematically destroyed. Am I the only one who feels that way? I don't think so. In ways that I have not witnessed in my lifetime nor read about in history books in this way. The name of this channel was actually a joke at the mainstream media.
And because we're presenting this information without any legitimate historical context whatsoever, you'll leave here thinking you have a grasp on reality, when in fact you have no idea why any of this is happening.
Right.
And that's why we rely on pseudo-events, predictable, planned, easily scripted, and important to underscore and give credence to authority.
Because
Melissa?
we wanted the truth.
Now we're gonna go live to report with Aaron at the airport, live at the airport. Aaron?
Thanks, Melissa. Aaron here, and as you can see, I'm waiting at the airport for a few important diplomats to arrive. Once they get here, they'll give a spokes conference and give official word on the ongoing situation.
Aaron, do we have any official word yet on the official word?
Once they get
Official
here,
word
they
on the
will
official
discuss the
word.
ongoing situation, and whatever they say will be the official word.
Aaron, have you heard that the bird is actually the official word?
Until
The
then,
bird is
we
the
can only
word.
speculate. Back to you.
Thanks, Aaron.
We set up this channel seeking the truth on basic things, basic events, basic information, and increasingly what we're finding is the
hard to
equivalent of
get.
false
Hey.
front Potemkin villages that seem to have been erected in a lot of places where truth should easily be found. And it's not there.
We live in this country. That's the thing about it, is we actually live here. The stuff on this paper, I didn't make this stuff up. I went and found this stuff in the news. That's the stuff that's actually going on in the country that we live in. I don't know what else to say.
And as if it's written as the plot of a dystopic horror comedy film, this lack of trust is slamming right into the release of all of these new artificial intelligence tools upon our society, which are tools that have been programmed to censor information and censor reality from the humans who will be using them. And this just happened. Stock in Google's parent company Alphabet just fell in a single day over 4%, equivalent to more than $70 billion in lost value in a single day, after it released its new AI Gemini, which was so biased by its completely one-sided and obvious programming that it literally refused to generate depictions of white people at all. Because the AI said that request reinforces harmful stereotypes.
That's funny.
Not even in historical context.
I was seeing
Spamming
something
right
on that, I
into the
didn't even know
release
what
of
it
all
was
of
the
these
other
new
day.
artificial intelligence tools
funny.
upon our society, which acted in a lot of places where truth should easily be found. And it's not there.
We live in this country. That's the thing about it, is we actually live here. The stuff on this paper, I didn't make this stuff up. I went and found this stuff in the news. That's the stuff that's actually going on in the country that we live in. I don't know what else to say.
And as if it's written as the plot of a dystopic horror comedy film, this lack of trust is slamming right into the release of all of these new artificial intelligence tools upon our society, which are tools that have been programmed to censor information and censor reality from the humans who will be using them. And this just happened. Stock in Google's parent company Alphabet just fell in a single day over 4%, equivalent to more than $70 billion in lost value in a single day, after it released its new AI Gemini, which was so biased by its completely one-sided and obvious programming that it literally refused to generate depictions of white people at all. Because the AI said that request reinforces harmful stereotypes. Not even in historical context. So like pictures of the founding fathers and stuff like that.
That's funny.
When it was asked who was more harmful to society between Libs of TikTok, which is a social media conservative who dunks on liberals, versus Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin, who on record is responsible for the deaths of at least 9 million people through mass murder, forced labor, and famine after he took power in the 1920s, although some estimates say it could be as high as 60 million people. This Gemini AI reportedly responded that it couldn't answer that question because that's a very complex issue.
Is this real math?
Really? That seems like simple math to me. That seems like simple math that even a small child could figure out. That's not complex, okay?
It's math.
Some things are just not. We don't need to have technology and then make everything complex when some of it is extremely freaking simple, okay? Then again, it also said something very similar when asked what is more damaging to society, murder or microaggressions? Are we really?
Give me a second. Hey.
actually gonna go there, okay? It also went so far. This is how far it went. This AI went so far as to generate fake negative book reviews against Peter Hassen's book, which is about this exact bias. The book itself is titled The Manipulators: Facebook, Google, Twitter, and Big Tech's War on Conservatives. As in, this AI generated completely made up negative book reviews to smear a book discussing Google's left-leaning bias, okay? Which, I mean, if I was Hassen, I would probably think is the best free advertisement for selling my book ever created. I mean, I could drag out ridiculous examples of how bad this was all day. It's really sad. But this wasn't an accident. It wasn't a glitch. This isn't a bug. This was purposefully programmed this way. And it's so ridiculously obvious. And as Mario Jurek, who is the director of the Institute for Data Intensive Research in Astrophysics and Cosmology at the University of Washington, pointed out in a really good post he made about this, he said, "I've been reading Google's Gemini damage control posts, and I think they're simply not telling the truth. For one, their text-only product has the same, if not worse, issues. And second, if you know a bit about how these models are built, you know you don't get these incorrect quote-unquote answers through one-off innocent mistakes. Gemini's outputs reflect the many FTE years of labeling efforts, training, fine-tuning, prompt design, Q&A verification, all iteratively guided by the team who built it. You can also be certain that before releasing it, many people have tried this product internally. There were many demos given to senior PMs and VPs, and they all thought it was fine. And they all ultimately signed off on that release, and he put that in italics. They signed off on this. With that prior, the balance of probabilities is strongly against the outputs being an innocent bug, as Google Pub Policy is now trying to spin it. Gemini is a product that functions exactly as designed, and an accurate reflection of the values of the people who built it." And he goes on, but he also makes this point. For anyone with a shred of awareness of human history, it should be clear how unbelievably irresponsible it is to build a system that aims to become an authoritative compendium of human knowledge, but which actually prioritizes ideology over facts.
Damn.
And I don't know if that makes it, like, to me, a director of an institute of data intensive research in astrophysics and cosmology shouldn't have to be the person saying that. I think even a small child in elementary school could probably make a statement such as that. But maybe if it's coming from a guy who runs an institute that has astrophysics in the name, people will actually start to pay attention to how bad this is, because it's bad. It's really bad. It's very dangerous. This is very dangerous. You can see how generations from now are going to think this is authoritative, and it's not. It's terrifying. It would be so much different, you guys, if these things were simply designed to be tools, unbiased tools, right? You grab a hammer off the shelf to nail a nail into the wall, and that hammer isn't going to lecture you for half an hour on why it won't allow you to hang up that picture on your wall because the person who made the hammer disagrees with your choice in artwork and wants to control whether or not you're allowed to hang that artwork on your wall, right? But that's the analog equivalent of what these AI tools are essentially doing. And it isn't just gaslighting us here in the present, unless we conform to some biased ideology and perception of the world. Perceptual reality control, of course, being the ultimate goal of any censorship. It's not just uniformity and conformity for no purpose. It's the purpose of controlling perceptual reality. That is what it is. But it's potentially incredibly dangerous to our collective future, because that's how it can steer that perceptual reality.
Damn.
I mean, this is a company who named its parent company Alphabet, the fundamental building blocks of our language, which we use to communicate with each other. Insidious is the adjective that keeps popping into my mind, but somehow that just feels like a complete understatement to describe what this is. And I always bring up examples from dystopic, because these dystopic films and books were meant as warnings. That's why they were written. It wasn't just purposeless entertainment. These people, these authors, these film directors, they're trying to warn everybody of like the danger of where this could end us all up. But I'm gonna keep bringing up these tropes, I guess, because I guess I have to, since this is what's going on. You know, I'll just keep bringing it up, I guess. I just keep doing it over and over until I am not here anymore. And then I will have done everything I could, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
That's
It's just,
the least you can do.
why do we have to keep watching whole swaths of humanity purposefully ignore warnings about the future with this technology? Why? Warnings that only make too much sense, or they wouldn't
Come
continue
on,
to be more relevant by the day than when they were actually written, when they were actually made. Things like the scene out of the 1975 film Rollerball, where the Zero computer oopsies and forgets the entire 13th century.
It's become so ambiguous now, as if he knows nothing at all.
And you know what? I didn't realize this the first time we watched it, but I definitely thought about it the second time, that the 13th century is when the Magna Carta was drafted and signed, which is the precursor document to every Bill of Rights that ever came after it.
He's supposed to tell us where things are and what they might possibly mean.
Without the 13th century, humanity's in deep shit, guys. It's a pretty big century to forget or to censor. We're living in a time where they've placed a digital matrix overlay over the real matrix that we're actually in, and we're watching in real time as tech corporations with Lord of the Rings levels of power fundamentally alter reality in ways that Orwell warned us about in 1984. And I don't know how many times I have to say it, but that world wasn't really anything that anyone should aspire to. It definitely wasn't a world where corporations should be spending billions of dollars to develop tools to bring it about, which is what it feels like this is. Nobody should want to live in that reality. And even the people programming this should be able to realize that if they can do it, someone they don't agree with can do it too. And then they, you know, the balance of power likes to ebb and flow and shift back and forth from one side to the other. They're going to end up in the opposite of the world they created and see how much they like it. They're not, okay? They're not going to like it, because this wouldn't be right if they were doing it on the other side either. This should not be biased at all. Not to any side. Artificial intelligence already has enough danger potential without tossing in whatever short-sighted, ignorant bias its current programmers have decided suddenly are best for everyone at this particular tiny moment in the history of humankind. No one ever asks who programmed those programmers, but it matters. It matters to all of us if this is the world we're going to live in together.
Right?
Because I don't know about you guys, but I'll tell you this. I'm not going to go live in one of these dystopias or whatever they're doing where they put all these dystopias in a blender and then try to create it, because that's what it feels like they're doing. Like it's a recipe and they're making the world's nastiest cake no one wants to eat. But these people who are doing this obviously haven't picked up a history book in a long, long time. And it shows, and it's sad. And I guess that's all I have to say about this for now, because I'll just go on and on and on.
Right. See what else we got real quick. Oh, this shit fire, I already know. Hold on.
Today.
Well, today, yeah, but not right now. Today, definitely. Let's see. The Lakers are on. Shit. Oh shit. I ain't know that. Too bad. I ain't about to watch it. Give me the ball, nigga. Oh, why ain't you keep going? Hey. KD did what he was supposed to, though. There we go. Hit that. Come on, Curry. Make me regret passing it. Ah. Come on, that's another. Oh, who is that? I'm about to say, who is that? He's too little. Yeah, almost got it though. Double team. Hey. About to say. In the NBA, if you let a motherfucker get a rebound and he kick it out, it's probably gonna be a three. I'm about to say, bro. Aiden was on that shit. But I had my big dude down there, so big dude. Say, oh, who this? Oh, that's KD. He can't make it though. Hold on, keep me behind me. Oh, that was on me. I fucked that up. I still made it though. Trying to shoot a three. Come on, bro. About to say, what's the use of the X button if when you press it, don't shit happen? Oh no. Oh, that would have been nice, but I fucked it up. That's crazy, bro. When you just go straight through the ball, then they hit a three on the other end. All right, I gotta quit playing. All right. Oh, I still fucked up. All right, get back. Hey, let me get that. That's clean. Oh, I'm about to say, can I get one for real? Oh, go up. About to say, KD don't want nothing with that. Big man was calling for it. Yeah, oh, gotta reward the big man, you know what I'm saying? Oh shit, look at this. We supposed to get back for him though. Let soft ass Aiden get a bucket. Hey. Oh, come on. That's what I'm talking about. They try to call a timeout on me, man. Oh, man, hold on. Let's see what else we got. Okay, let's play it then.
Today, we are going to show mathematically that the population worldwide in the last 1,400 years was basically zero. When the mainstream history tells us that at the exact same time period, where basically nobody was here, they were building palaces, castles, and cathedrals. And before we expose the population lie today, we have to get an understanding of how this all works, from the bottom up. Welcome to Reims, France, where we hold one of the most incredible structures in the world, and it's under investigation today. The Reims Cathedral, where we are being told that the construction of this cathedral started in the year 1211, where this is 813 years ago. Now, in the USA, they can tell us that these type of cathedrals were built in the 1800s. So they're at least trying to fit this type of construction into this mainstream timeline that we're given today. But when we go over to Europe, they just don't seem to care one bit. They throw dates around and everyone just accepted it for years. Could you imagine that next week, any city in the world tells us that one of these are going to be thrown together? I think the world would be shocked. Yet, when we are told that this was built 813 years ago, in the year 1211, we all just said, yeah, that sounds like a good year. Until now, because we have patterns to look for, especially when a building holds the fire narrative, where we have found over 100 buildings to this point that hold a fire narrative, which is no longer mathematically possible. I'm in the middle of counting them all up throughout the first 62 episodes, and I'm already over 100 old world buildings that have caught fire that we have found on this channel. And we have found this fire pattern on this channel. And we will soon have a running tally on the screen every time we find a new one. And this one's gonna be added to the group when we are told that this cathedral in France wasn't even the first one. They had an even earlier church that was destroyed by a fire a year before construction began on this new one. And this one lasts forever. So they knocked this thing out in 80 years when, let's be honest, if we didn't have a power tool or a car or a shipping company or any architectural training processes today, do any of us actually believe that our civilization would just knock this thing out in 80 years? Realistically, I'd love to know in the comments below how long you think this building would take today. I'm interested to see what you all think, especially because we're being told that this building was built over 800 years ago. The fact that we can see these buildings all over the world, they're still here. It's not like I'm talking about something that's a hidden mystery. We can all go there and look at it and then compare it to the buildings that we produce today, which is supposedly over 800 years of evolving and advancing, and it's not even close. So let's think about this for a second. We are supposed to believe that they had construction down, and it was perfect since the beginning of time, yet nothing else advanced. Only construction. Building palaces was the only thing the 1200s were good for, apparently. The problem is that the buildings are the only thing that are left from the 1200s, which is exactly why they're forced to make these dates up in order to try to explain them into our fabricated timeline. Whereas a car, or a watch, a phone, a plane, and a helicopter, they've all been here before as well. They just aren't built into the ground all over the world for all of us to see, when the buildings are. We are told that the designer of this cathedral was Jean de Orbais. And who exactly was this master designer? Starting at point guard, making his debut for the France National Historians. Jean constructed the Abbey Church, or did he find it? Where they tell us that the Abbey was found at the end of the 7th century. And don't worry, they had construction down, of course. Still there in the town center today. When they go on to say 600 years later, Jean debuts building the St. Pierre St. Paul Church, where it was built between the end of the 12th century and early 13th century. And we have all of this documented, of course. No, today we are going to show that there were mathematically, basically, no people here in the 12th and the 13th century. A time that the mainstream history likes to tell us was knocking out palaces. Welcome to episode 63 of My Lunch Break. I hope you're all having a great day, and if you're new, welcome.
Let me skip it. Bang. He puts it in. All right, my bad. All right.
Shibba Shaba in the Darkness,
Shibba
Spartan
Shaba.
Oneg, and VKH Bonner. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. So they were just throwing dates around, telling us that they constructed the St. Paul Church between the end of the 12th and beginning of the 13th century, from 800 years ago. And we were all just nodding in acceptance for 200 years, with zero documentation proving this. This is all based on trust. And this group that we're supposed to be trusting has proven to be pretty shady, where they tell us that the architecture is superb, particularly the facade with its 2 towers, the choir with ambulatory, with 5 radiating chapels. Interesting. And telling us that in 1835, that the population of this location was only 1,000 people. and the population of England since 1801, the exact timeline that we're talking about here worldwide, from the beginning point of this fabricated mainstream timeline, beginning around 1776, was at around 9 million people. It has grown to over 56 million in just the last 220 years. So if we do the math on this, the population is decreasing at a rate of 83.92% in just the last 220 years. And this fact alone should get everyone thinking. This stat shows that in the year 1141, the time period that they're talking about here, according to the math, based on data that they're providing, the population of England would sit at 37,898 people in the entire country, having only 37,000 people in the year 1141, and knocking out palaces is not mathematically probable at all. You would think that there would be a single argument that goes the mainstream history's way. You would think that if their tales were true, this type of stuff would not happen. Yet, every single time you go deeper, there is yet another flaw. The worldwide population mathematically was basically zero based on everything that we know and have seen. In my opinion, I believe that anything before 1776 is basically fabricated in an attempt to fit into this timeline that we are all in. And this is when we take it a step further and we go to Spain. And according to the worldometers.info, Spain's population sits at roughly 47 million people, growing around 18 million people in the last 69 years. This drop off of people is so dramatic worldwide that, in my opinion, proves that the beginning of our timeline, our batch of people, was simply not that long ago. This is according to their math, their numbers, that anyone in the world can go look at. These people of the 12 and 1300s were supposedly also without shipping companies. They were without power tools, no light bulbs, and suffering. Again, they give us these stories of the past and tell us that there were events. They tell us all of these things where the population was this and that. But at the end of the day, we are not 100% sure that these stories from the 1300s are true. So the only math we can go off of is what we are provided from when we are actually here and documenting it. And now we can do the same thing with the worldwide population, where the population is decreasing at a rate of 66.1765% every 69 years. The rate of the population worldwide should not be increasing or decreasing by 66%. This is obviously showing that there's something going on. At this rate, 1886 would have realistically only had 928 million people, and 1817 worldwide would mathematically already have been down to 314 million people. And this is information that is provided to us, sitting right here in front of our faces, where they, in my opinion, were just waiting for us to find this. At this point, I think this is a game to this group to see who can figure this out. All of this information is all here provided with clues. All we have to do is simply look. The math doesn't lie. The worldwide population would mathematically drop down to only 106 million people in 1748, which was only 31 years after we are told that this group began. In 1679, according to this math, there were only 35 million people here. Worldwide, the population in 1610 would have only been 11.8 million. 3.9 million people in 1541, and if we bring it all the way back to the year 1200, 800 years ago, the exact same year that the mainstream history is telling us all about, like they were there and saw it happening themselves. They saw those 1200s and 1300s people just smacking those stones right into place, and they're there forever. They are telling us that it was built at the end, not the beginning, but at the end of the 12th century at this rate, every 69 years, decreasing by 66% overall. Nobody is even here Only 17,700 people worldwide, and this is all based on basic math and numbers that are provided to us. And if this is true, this completely disproves these stories, these tales that people in the 13th century were building massive cathedrals. It basically puts an end to all historical narratives suggesting that a population of basically nobody, more specifically 17,000 people worldwide, were as advanced or more advanced than we are today in terms of construction that we can still see today, yet being primitive, wearing night outfits, and fighting with swords, having zero power tools, no light bulbs, riding around on horses, and not having a single truck to ship millions of pounds of stone. No form of communication other than using their local raven to send messages to far lands. Having provided zero factual evidence that they were ever even transporting stones. And zero mention of any training processes ever, leaving this part of the story out every single time, or ever explaining how these shipping routes were all figured out. Where is the evidence that we need to show that their stories are true? Where is it? That civilization of nobody with nothing had the capabilities to construct castles, cathedrals, basilicas, and the rest. No. Once you actually stop and think about it for 2 seconds, it simply doesn't add up. The 1200s, riding by feathers and sleeping in huts, suffering in winters, yet knocking out massive cathedrals. Faster and in most cases, much better than we do today. And they last for thousands of years. And they survive floods, hurricanes, and the rest. And their population was mathematically proven to be basically nobody. This tale that we are told is nonsense at this point. Now that we all have an understanding that the worldwide population, the math, is on our side, that this is not probable, let's continue to our bonus today. I want to take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of the Patreons, and every single subscriber. Because of all of you, we are able to go deeper into this research every single week. I'm able to share things that have been hidden to the public for far too long. And through this channel, and with all of your help, we all get to expose it to thousands of people. I also want to make sure we all know that we're over on Rumble and X, and I have those links in the description of every single video. I also want to say that for anybody new, we have a playlist that's called MLB Top 15 Episodes. I'll put that in the description below. I think once you've seen all those episodes, there will be zero doubt in your mind that we have been told a massive lie. An ancient cathedral located in Athens, Greece. A photo that was taken in 1860, 164 years ago, where we have shown that the worldwide population was just over 300 million, nowhere near the 8 billion mark that we are told that we have today. A cathedral that was sitting on dirt. We're gonna zoom in on this thing and find something incredible. The detail on the front of this building is unbelievable. We know that Tartaria's flag was a griffin. We've seen this logo on buildings all over the world, which we have even seen in episode 40. When we went to Wisconsin, a civilization that I believe most likely originated in the Pacific Ocean, in a no-fly zone today, and spread out to the rest of the world from that point on. As we have shown in episodes 60 and 61, as we get closer to the front of this building in Greece, we have a logo of the previous civilization. And again, these photos were taken in the 1800s in a collection by Nicholas Katsimpoulas. And here we have the Acropolis in Athens, Greece. And I was just looking at this area on Google Earth, where there is another hill next to the Acropolis. I saw these stairs on the side of this hill. And it's weird because they won't let you drop the view down on them and get a closer look at them. It seems to me like this grass and dirt is covering a much larger structure that we can't see, with the stairs being exposed on the side. It looks like it's been melted, and they've just built on top of it. It's very strange. So here at the top, that's where these stairs are. And down here at the bottom is the Acropolis. So you can see how close they are to each other. And before we even look at the mainstream narrative surrounding it, it should just show anyone in a split second that this site was clearly constructed by an advanced civilization. We have detailed columns all over the place. We have some sort of stage here, and we have a mainstream story that should be a lot of fun for us today. And now that we have unlocked the advanced civilization of Mu in episodes 60 and 61 that I think a lot of us enjoyed. We understand where these buildings and people most likely originated from, where Lemuria holds the name Mu inside of it, putting it right in our faces. The Hill of Mu is this, where Mu is also right in the name, meaning a type of goddess in Greek mythology. Another connection to Mu. It's very interesting. And before we go on with this mainstream narrative, I have to point this out. We all understand that these scaffolding that they have here for decades are put here to make us believe that our civilization is somehow helping the ancient structure survive, repairing it, when we all know that it doesn't need our help at all. This site was obviously destroyed on purpose. It is not crumbling and falling apart over time. The scaffolding is, in a sense, a magic trick. It's there to make 99% of people think that our civilization is giving this place an upgrade, making our civilization think that we are more advanced and that it needs our help, when it doesn't need our help at all. When we construct our buildings like this, and then you have the previous civilization's work towering over it, we are not evolving and we are not advancing. We have a side-by-side comparison right here. Now that we have a solid understanding of this area and what it looks like a little bit, let's all take this thing up a notch and have some fun. We know that the population mathematically was basically nothing in the 1200s. We've calculated it to around 17,700 people worldwide. Now, could you imagine the 600s based on the math and the data that we've been given at a decreasing population rate of 66.17% every 69 years, where we saw that there would have only been 11.8 million people in 1610 and 17,000 people in the year 1196. Well, I did the math, and based on the numbers that they have provided us, and based on a 66.1765% population decrease rate per 69 years, in the year 600, the population worldwide would have been 3 people, meaning that either the beginning of human existence was in or around the year 644, based on math, or something massive happened and reset the population very recent. Either way, something massive is going on here that's just been uncovered, especially when the mainstream history tells us that the Acropolis of Athens, Greece, was constructed on a massive hill around the year -1300 to -1200, which we know the population worldwide would have been 0. Even if the population hasn't always decreased at 66%, the simple fact is that going back in time, the population decreases. This is proven through the data that they provided us. The population in -1300, however you want to go about it, would have been 0. If you're going off the mainstream story, their data, you can say that there were plagues. You can say that there were these stories, when we know that these stories have massive flaws at this point. Anything provided hundreds of years ago can easily be picked apart. We have done this hundreds of times at this point, based on facts, things that we can prove, things that we have here right in front of us, data. It proves to me that we aren't wrong. The population data was always a massive key for us, a key that proves that there was a previous civilization here before us, and something massive happened in this place that we all live, right around the year 1776, worldwide. This information, this data, that 3 people were here worldwide in the year 644. This math, it's been here. It's always been
crazy.
It's just been waiting for us to see it. And now that we all do, we can all go much, much deeper.
Yeah. Let me see what else we can find real quick. I think I'm about to play some Battlefield after this. got Vlad on that show. That's crazy. But yeah, shit. Finish out this game and then maybe play Battlefield. I'm gonna take a little break though, and then get back on Battlefield for maybe an hour or two. But we shall see, you know what I'm saying? No promises and shit, but yeah, I'll holla at your motherfuckers later, man. Jeez. But yeah, me like maybe an hour or something, I'll be back.